Every year, ESPN puts out their NBA top 100 players list. It's the annual thing we look at to see where players are located, but obviously what we want to know here on this channel, Amateur Sports, is where each Raptors player is located on this list. We're going to see if they're too high. We're going to see if they are too low. And oftentimes when it comes to ESPN, I'm pessimistic about where they're going to put Raptors players. I find sometimes they can underrate Raptors players, but coming off of a bad season, let's see where these Raptors players are located. So they've divided the top 100 list into three different sections. They've got the 100 to 51, then they've got the 50 to 11, and then they have the top 10 players. So I'm going to assume we're going to have a good chunk of players in this 100 to 51 range. I am going to assume that we're going to, well, I hope we have a player, maybe even two, in the 50 to 11 part. And I'm going to also assume we have no players in the top 10 of the league. I think that's a very, very fair and safe assumption. So we're going to start with the 100 to 51. I am hoping we see, I think I'm going to be realistic. I am going to be hoping to see how many Raptors players. I'm hoping we see Quickley. I'm hoping we see Barrett. I'm hoping we see Poeltl. And I think we'll see Brandon Ingram here. But Ingram might be able to creep up into the top 50. I don't think he will, but I think we'll see him here. I'm hoping we don't see Scottie Barnes because I think he should be in the top 50. I'd be a little bit upset if I saw him in this 100 to 51 range. And just hope we get all the Raptors starters at least in the top 100. So let's dive into it. Let's get started. Let's go with the 100 to 51 on the ESPN list. Starting off with number 100, RJ Barrett. Previous rank was 53rd. Okay. So we do have RJ Barrett on the list. That is a pretty significant downgrade compared to last season. 53 all the way down to 100. Let's actually pull up some of these players' stats as well to kind of see if this position or I guess in this case demotion is justified. So here's what RJ Barrett did last season with the Raptors. Obviously, it was a disappointing season for the Raptors. There was some good spots for RJ Barrett, but I do also believe there was definitely a downgrade for RJ Barrett compared to the season before. 21.1 points per game is nice. 6.3 rebounds is fine. I do like that he upped his assists to 5.4. It was probably like around 4 the season before. The concern is the efficiency, and the efficiency really hinders his impact on the game, coupled with the fact that he's just not that good of a defender. Like 52% on twos is just not good enough for a player of RJ Barrett's size and ability. 3-point percentage at 35 is fine. These sorts of percentages are often misleading, especially with 3-point percentage, because volume matters and your openness matters. So for RJ Barrett in this case, 35 is fine for a guy who's, open on those threes, but he's open for these threes. His shooting gravity he doesn't really have shooting gravity. People are not super aggressive to close him down. People are not RJ Barrett's not a floor spacer for the Raptors. And the way we can verify this is the true shooting percentage when it comes to volume is because his shooting percentage is 54.7. Unfortunately, that's just not very good. Season before, so I combined. I'm looking at his stats with the Knicks and the Raptors. So obviously a big jump with the Raptors. I mean, he shot up to 60% on twos and 39% on threes. And I obviously didn't think that was going to continue for this season at that level. But I would have hoped we were a little bit closer. Like, we went from 65% on twos down to 52%. And even that's an upgrade on what he did with the Knicks. But he was held in a very negative light in his time with the New York Knicks. So, yeah, unfortunately, the demotion on this list is justified. I don't think it's justified quite to this degree. I think 100 is a little bit low for RJ Barrett. I can see why he did get downgraded, though. Let's kind of compare him to some of the other players on this list, though. Like, who should he be above? Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle is good. Is he? He was the rookie of the year. Is he better than R.J. Barrett? I don't think Stephon Castle in year 2 is better than R.J. Barrett present. Walker Kessler. I mean, you can make a case, but I don't think so. Peyton Pritchard is not better than R.J. Barrett. I'm sorry. Like, Peyton Pritchard is an important player off the bench for the Celtics, but he is not a better player than R.J. Barrett. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, yes, probably. I mean, maybe even could be higher. PJ had a pretty good year. Even that's kind of like PJ Washington. I'm not sure, but okay. Devin Vassell. I mean, Devin Vassell wasn't that good last year, man. He wasn't that good. Like the year before, man, I think he was even better. Like Devin Vassell wasn't that good last year. I don't know about that one either. Okay, next Raptors player, Poeltl. Okay, I'm happy to see Poeltl on the list. I thought there's a possibility he'd be left off. But honestly, like I feel like honestly 93 might even be a touch low. Like we're talking about him in like the same sort of tier as Walker Kessler. I think Jakob Poeltl is better than Walker Kessler and more than just 5 spots on this list better. Poeltl had a career high in points per game, a career high in rebounds per game, I think, as well. Career high in free throw percentage, really upped his free throw percentage, and is a great defender. A great player to play out of the high post as a playmaker. I think Poeltl is very much underrated in the NBA, and I think the confirmation of how underrated Poeltl is was the reaction when he got his contract extension this summer. Big number for sure for Poeltl, but I thought like that's probably what Poeltl should have been expecting to get, and that's exactly what he got. But people talked about it like an overpay. Eventually, he'll be making, I think it's around $20 million per year, not for like a couple more seasons, but eventually he will get there. But I thought like, yeah, that's how much Poeltl costs, and people thought that was a crazy number. A testament to, I think, how underrated Jakob Poeltl is. But we'll pull up his stats from last season to further verify this and maybe further verify my stance that he's a bit low on the list than he maybe should be. And yeah, this is a guy who gives you 14.5 and 10. When the Raptors played through Poeltl in some games, he was an absolute beast. Like I think you could average more than this on a team that doesn't have to share the rock around as much as they do. 1.2 blocks per game. Super efficient player, like 62.7% shooting from the field. It was I mean, no sense in putting like 2-point percentage for a guy who's like pretty much only taking twos except for the corner 3 he hit near the end of the season. Free throw percentage, like I said, really worked hard to get it up to 67.4. Like he went from being like just above a 50% shooter from the stripe to 67.4. Very impressive true shooting. Doesn't mean as much for a player who's like pretty much strictly shooting twos, but hey, 64.1% is nice to see for Poeltl. Yeah, he had a great season, and I'm happy he's gotten recognized to be on ESPN's top 100 list. Maybe his first appearance on said list, but I feel like he could still be. I feel like he could still be even higher. You know. All right, let's keep it going through this list. Mitchell Robinson, like I'd have Poeltl above Mitchell Robinson, Drew Holiday. I mean, he did drop a lot from 36, but like Drew Holiday in 2025, is he better than? He's probably better than R.J. Barrett. Naz Reid, Andrew Wiggins, Zach 88 for Zach Edey. Like, no, man. Zach Edey should not be above Jakob Poeltl, man. Jonas Valanciunas at 80. What are we doing? He is not Like, he is just not better than Jakob Poeltl. He just isn't. Jonas Valanciunas is so difficult to play because of how bad his defense is. He's not as good of a passer as Jakob Poeltl. His floor spacing is overrated. He's not as good of a rebounder. Not as good of a scorer, to be honest, on the interior either. There's just no way Jonas Valanciunas is better than Jakob Poeltl. That is asinine, man. Absolutely not. Like JV's signing on these cheap contracts to be a backup center for Nikola Jokic. No way is that guy better than Jakob Poeltl. That is a large mistake. Bradley Beal, overrated because of his name. Jaden Ivey is good, but is he better than RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl? I don't think so. Tobias Harris. 84. What are we doing, man? I think Jonathan Kuminga there. Oh, my God. What are we doing, man? These are all fine players, but Poeltl is much more valuable than these guys to winning. Much more than some of these names. Like we're now getting into the conversation of like, now are we getting too high for RJ Barrett? But fuck, Poeltl is much more valuable than these guys. Come on. Norman Powell, yeah, great season. Andrew Nembhard, okay. I get that. Same with DeMar. Okongwu, oh my God. No. Like, no. He's not better than Poeltl. He isn't. He just is not a better player than Jakob Poeltl. He's a good player. Like we're getting into some dicey conversations here. He is not better than Poeltl. I think in this range, we're past RJ Barrett. I think RJ could be higher. I think we're past, like, this is like, we've hit the point where RJ could be. I think RJ should be mid-80s. Poeltl, I feel like we still could go further. Like DeMar is still fine. Like, DeMar could still be above this. I don't know how Okongwu was ahead of him or ahead of Poeltl. Kamara is very good. I don't mind him on the list. Okay, next. Okay, ooh. Brandon Ingram down from number 40 to number 77. So a lot of that has to stem from his lack of game time last season, just from the injury. He played 18 games last season. That definitely gave him a demotion. 77 still feels awfully low. If I could buy like Brandon Ingram stock based off this list, I would. Brandon Ingram, I think, is going to shoot himself into the top 50 this season. Even with the injury, that's a little low. Like, we got to remember who Brandon Ingram is. And I know it's just an 18-game sample, but it was a pretty good 18-game sample. 22 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 46.5% from the field, 37 from three, 56 true shooting percentage, leaves a little bit to be desired. It's okay. 77's a little low. It's a little low. But then again, he played 18 games. That's factoring in. Okay, fair enough. Let's see who's ahead of him. Brandon Miller, I can forgive. Yeah. McDaniels is very good, so okay. Jabari Smith, too. Lively. Okay. Zach LaVine's coming off of actually a really good year. So is Kobe White. Michael Porter Jr. 70, dude. Josh Hart. These guys. I mean, Tyler's coming off a good year. Are these guys better than Brandon Ingram? I guess they had better years. I think that's what it comes down to. Damn, yeah, 66. I mean, I don't know about 66, dog. 66 a bit high. Okay, you know what? Seeing the players in Brandon Ingram's vicinity, I can see why he's here. It's largely based on his lack of game time, I think, last season. But Brandon Ingram can definitely get himself up the list this season. These guys had good years. Like, now we're in like, these guys played well last season and are getting respected as such. Lou Dort, 64. Okay, wow. That's really low for LaMelo Ball. 63. LaMelo Ball's so underrated. If he could stay healthy and wasn't on such a dog shit team, damn, he's so underrated, man. All right, I gotta be honest, guys. I'm a little worried we haven't seen Immanuel Quickley yet, because I feel like we should have seen him by now. I don't imagine he's in. I'd be surprised if he's in the next, like, 13 players